Irigaray's To Be Two is a profound exploration of relationality, subjectivity, and the dynamics of human relationships. Written in a poetic and philosophical style, the book challenges traditional conceptions of individuality and explores the transformative potential of being in relation to another. Irigaray builds on her earlier work on sexual difference, extending it into a deeper meditation on how two distinct beings can coexist without subsuming or erasing each other's identity. The text emphasizes love, recognition, and respect as foundational to genuine relationality, offering a framework for understanding how individuals can exist together while preserving their uniqueness. The introduction sets the tone for Irigaray's inquiry, framing it as an invitation to rethink the nature of human relationships. She critiques Western philosophy's emphasis on individuality and autonomy, arguing that such paradigms often neglect the ethical and ontological significance of relationality. For Irigaray, to truly be two requires a radical reimagining of how we engage with difference. This involves not merely recognizing the other as an object or extension of the self, but embracing the other's irreducible uniqueness as a co-equal subject. In the first chapter, Irigaray examines the limitations of traditional philosophical models of subjectivity, which she argues are rooted in a logic of sameness. Drawing on her critique of patriarchy, she contends that these models often erase sexual difference, reducing relationships to a dynamic of domination and assimilation. Irigaray proposes an alternative vision of subjectivity grounded in sexual difference, emphasizing the importance of recognizing and respecting the other as truly other. She argues that this recognition is not merely an ethical imperative, but a condition for the possibility of love and genuine relationality. The second chapter delves into the dynamics of love and desire, exploring how they can serve as a basis for establishing and maintaining the relationship between two distinct beings. Irigaray distinguishes between possessive and transformative forms of love, critiquing the former as an attempt to dominate or absorb the other. She advocates for a love that allows both individuals to grow and flourish, emphasizing the importance of reciprocity and mutual recognition. Love, in this sense, is not about achieving unity or sameness, but about preserving and celebrating difference. Irigaray uses poetic language and imagery to convey the depth and complexity of this relational dynamic, underscoring the spiritual and existential dimensions of love. In the third chapter, Irigaray addresses the ethical implications of her philosophy of relationality. She critiques traditional ethical frameworks that prioritize abstract principles over the concrete realities of human relationships, arguing that such approaches often fail to account for the uniqueness of each encounter. For Irigaray, ethics must be rooted in the lived experience of relationality, which requires attentiveness to the other's needs, desires, and vulnerabilities. She explores how this ethical orientation can transform not only personal relationships, but also broader social and political structures, offering a vision of community that is based on mutual respect and solidarity. The fourth chapter explores the relationship between language and relationality, emphasizing the role of communication in fostering connection and understanding between two distinct beings. Irigaray critiques traditional conceptions of language as a tool for control or representation, arguing that such models often fail to account for the relational and performative dimensions of speech. She proposes an alternative vision of language as a medium for creating and sustaining relationships, highlighting the importance of listening, dialogue, and the acknowledgement of difference. Irigaray's reflections on language are deeply tied to her broader critique of Western metaphysics, which she sees as privileging sameness and abstraction over difference and embodiment. In the 5th chapter, Irigaray turns her attention to the concept of the divine, exploring how spirituality can inform and enrich human relationships. She argues that traditional religious frameworks often reinforce hierarchical and patriarchal structures, privileging a transcendent and monolithic conception of the divine over the immanent and relational. Irigaray proposes an alternative vision of the divine that is rooted in relationality and difference, emphasizing the sacredness of the encounter between two distinct beings. This vision challenges traditional notions of divinity and invites readers to consider how spirituality can support the ethical and existential dimensions of relationality. The 6th chapter addresses the challenges and possibilities of sustaining relationality in a world that often prioritizes individualism and competition. Irigaray explores how societal structures, cultural norms, and economic systems can undermine the conditions for genuine relationality, emphasizing the need for structural and cultural change. She argues that fostering relationality requires not only individual effort, but also collective action, calling for a reimagining of education, politics, and community life. Irigaray's reflections on these broader societal issues are deeply tied to her philosophical inquiry, highlighting the interconnectedness of personal and collective transformation. The 7th and final chapter serves as a reflection on the potential for relationality to transform both individuals and the world. Irigaray reiterates her commitment to a philosophy of difference, emphasizing the importance of recognizing and respecting the other as a condition for the possibility of love, ethics, and community. She invites readers to embrace the challenges and uncertainties of relationality, emphasizing that the process of being two is never complete, but always ongoing. Irigaray's conclusion is both hopeful and pragmatic, acknowledging the difficulties of relationality, while affirming its transformative potential. To Be Two employs a poetic and evocative style that reflects the depth and complexity of her inquiry. Her writing resists easy categorization, blending philosophy, literature, and spirituality into a rich and multifaceted text. By challenging traditional conceptions of subjectivity and relationality, Irigaray invites readers to rethink their assumptions about what it means to be human and to engage with the other in new and transformative ways.